Ah, man. Whew. How's everybody doing, man? It is a, another week in the books. Um Kasan, how's it going, man? So it is Friday. We made it. I'm exhausted, man. I flew April out to a wedding, so I've been watching the pets, and they just seem like they're acting a fool. So they've been keeping me up late, making messes, and oh my goodness. But life is good. No real complaints. Just working and working and working and working, man. Uh, I got so many things in the pipeline right now. Had Biceps come along? Boom, baby. See that? Although I haven't last 3 days, I haven't done anything just because my mornings have been consumed by walking the dogs out, walking the dogs in the morning and feeding the pets. And normally it's one of April's stuff things that she does. Do you still rent out rooms to other people? Up until this next month. So the reason for that is that we're going to be selling our house and we're going to be moving. So I so we gave them basically the goal is to put the house up for sale in May, and we gave them as much notice as we could, and they found a place. I said, hey, here's 60 days notice. We only, I think in the contract I said 30 days either way. I want to give more, but I let them know that if they found something, they could go about their business because I know what it's like to find a room to rent. So, am I moving to another place in Tampa? No, I'm most likely moving to Dallas. So, I have. So the next 2 months are kind of crazy. I'm flying out to California, most likely to see my mom. I'm then flying out to California to do the LinkedIn Learning course. I'm then flying out to NGConf to go there, and then I'm flying out to Dallas to go see the city, to travel a little bit, to do all that. And that last one's in May, the first week of May. And as long as I like the city, we're gonna put the house up for sale. So I'm 99% sure, but I just want to go see the city. Um, right now, like it's a little bit messy back here, so like already what I'm doing is I'm going through some stuff that I don't use anymore, that I'm gonna sell, that I'm gonna get rid of, or whatnot. So why Dallas? A couple of reasons. One, it's more out west. My my parents are getting older, and my family's out there. They're in the Midwest in California. They're between California, Idaho, Nevada, um, Utah, all those places. So it's significantly closer to that than Florida. Two, my work said it was okay. So I basically had to decide if I wanted to stay with my current organization. And I have it pretty good. I'm paid pretty well. I have full remote. And the reason they said okay, Dallas is half the team is in Dallas, half the team is in Tampa. So there's really no reason why. And Texas has no state tax like Florida, so it seemed like a good compromise at the time. I tried to get my work to give me the okay to go to an area where the team wasn't, and they basically gave me a soft no, so I took the hint. So um suggest you something about Node.js. Yeah, so if I was to recommend something for you to learn, I'd recommend that you pick up Nest.js, which is the sort of hot new framework for Node. It uses TypeScript. It's very opinionated. It's very similar to Angular at times as it uses decorators. Check it out. With the articles coming out about Lambda School, could you speak to April's experience? Sure. So Lambda, and I'll do a more in-depth video with her um, about it. But I know Lambda's been getting some heat in the news. But the gist of it is that the first 4 months were a little bit more handholdy, and the last 2 or 3, she's about 6 months into what is a 9-month program, is more um, build projects, build projects, build projects. I can tell you that from my perspective, she has improved significantly, and that she's at a place where she should be able to land a role. Um, Now, I haven't been paying too much attention to the Lambda School. I know they've been getting in trouble for some like legality stuff, but Eric and I talked about this in the past in a more general sense. Is like when you're complaining about coding boot camps. So let's use Lambda in this example. What are you comparing them to, right? The argument for some people against coding boot camps is there's no job guarantee. Same is true about college. The argument about people start it and drop out of it, same is true about college. The argument that you invest time and money with no guarantee, same is true about college. Same is true about other alternatives. That's my point. I'm not here to say bash on college or bash on coding boot camps. My point is you have to paint them in a frame of reference. You go and get a network. Maybe you do in college, maybe you don't. I think they're somewhat similar, to be honest. But so you start painting a picture about what is true, what is not true, and what you'll start finding out is that no matter boot camp or college, yeah, you may thrive in one versus the other, but the truth of the matter is that you're going to have to be the one to push yourself forward and succeed. Um, that's my thoughts about it. How do you go about unit testing? Um, I read up on test-driven development, TDD, watched some videos on it, and then just sort of I had some tech leads that pointed me in the right direction. Clean code and clean architecture has some great not videos, but examples about unit testing as well. What's the shortcut to Android dev? Um, the shortest cut to be an Android developer is just to build things, put them on the market. That'll showcase your skills. That'll increase your success rate of getting hired. Just build things. I mean, that's a shortcut to any dev, not just Android. Build things, put them out there. Build shitty thing, build slightly less shitty thing, slightly less shitty thing, slightly less shitty thing, slightly less shitty thing with more features and so on and so forth. Are you moving to another place in Tampa? I already asked that. Answer that. Have you thought about creating a course on O'Reilly? If O'Reilly wants to reach out to me to build a course, I'd be happy to. I don't reach out to a lot of these places. I did reach out to the LinkedIn Learning place. But so LinkedIn Learning's one. I want to. I got an update to a course at Scrimba and another course that I'm going to put out there as well in the near future. So. The only problem I had about the CEO misleading about selling off the ISAs. Now, I don't know too much about that. Now, the argument that I for that I understood was that. So let's just take income sharing agreements as a whole. So if Lambda School goes away, would you still owe your loan? I would think so. Just like you would owe a loan on any other item that you take. And like the number one thing people do is they sell their loans. So I wasn't too surprised to hear about that. But again, I don't know the details of that. I don't know if he said like that would never happen, then did exactly that. So is clean code based off a single programming language? I believe it's usually based off of Java. It's been a while since I've read it. Yeah. My best advice for somebody who's trying to prepare for a class is to just go and learn and build things in those technologies. That's always the best advice I can give you. The best practice to migrate the data. I don't know. I don't do a lot of data migration now. Honestly, I've been working in the front end for like 2 years straight, so it's uh it's kind of crazy. What are your thoughts after reading Pragmatic Program? So I haven't finished it. I've actually started packing up a little bit, and I have 2 books that I kept out that I haven't had a chance to finish. There is Code Complete, which you can see I am about. So this is the top, this is the bottom. I'm about 3/4 of the way through. And then there's Pragmatic Program, which I took me on vacation, is smaller, and I'm about maybe 20% through that. I will say that what I've read about Pragmatic Programmer, I absolutely love. The cool thing about Pragmatic Programmer too is in the back here. I haven't taken it out yet, but they have this pull out. So they have all these tips in here, and I think there's 100 of them. Yeah, there's 100 of them, and you can pull them out and work off it. So I like it. I'm 20% in. I like it. I'll do a book review on it eventually. I want to finish up Code Complete. Code Complete's a hard book to read. It feels dated at times, but it's very good. While at the same time, it's very dry. Hey, look, John. Is learning a relational database more marketable than a JSON type database? I don't know if it's more marketable. I definitely is harder. I think generally speaking, NoSQL databases have sort of been picking up steam. I'm starting a computer science course for an AA degree. What will I learn? My advice to you is to switch to a bachelor's. Your associate's isn't going to really teach you much, and it's not going to be valued in the market. You're just wasting your time and money. I have the possibility for my second job being the front end lead and starting out a project from scratch. Am I in over my head? No, man. Put the time in, take the bump, and just do your best. Google gave me another phone screen, and I passed that on to the on-site. Good, but I have no faith I'll pass the on-site. They expect me to finish 3 questions, 45 minutes. You could do it if it's the right question. And that's not that bad, man. When I interviewed with Microsoft, I did 8 or 9 interviews, and we did 3 questions every 20 minutes, or a question every 20 minutes in that hour. It was exhausting, absolutely exhausting. If Elon Musk still programmed, do you think he'd be one of the greatest programmers ever? Probably not. Elon Musk is more about marketing than he is anything else, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not saying he's not a smart guy or attention to detail, but he wouldn't be Elon Musk if he was programming. His time is better spent marketing than anything else. What do you think of Lambda School stuff? Again, I haven't really been following it. So I will say that I like the idea of ISAs, and I like the idea of Lambda School and coding boot camps in general. So what made April get back into coding? It's probably a good question. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I would say, from my perspective and from our talks, a an interest in having a career, an interest in not going through the same trials and tribulations and struggles that she went through in terms of making good money, having good job offers, having a solid career, and taking out all that sort of practical aspect and jump into it, and being able to then on top of that take a hard skill set that she can do something with outside of work if she wanted to. uh did you hear about Traverse Media hitting 1 million subs? I did see that he did that. I should shoot him an email and tell him congrats. What's your suggestion on learning a front-end language? Pretty much JavaScript. One more question, but does GPA matter? No. But you're asking a guy who doesn't have a college degree, so what do we care about GPA for? So I might be biased. Do you think Cold Steel's course on Udemy is still worth taking in 2020? I don't know. I haven't looked at it. I imagine he's done so well with it, he keeps it updated consistently. Using Python, a good web development project. You could build something in. You could use the Pygame library. I don't know if it's still maintained, but that was a gaming library to help you build games back in the day. I wonder if I still have that. That'd be cool to do a little video. Trying to find it in my email. I don't know where I would have put it. Is UML used in the industry? It depends. It's not super important though. I just finished free Codecamp's front-end developer course, and I feel like a donkey and I'm afraid to apply for jobs. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Like, say no? Um, well, you really looked at it. Thanks, man. So you look at shit, dog. Oh my god, I can still log into my old account? Dude, this is nutty. So I found an email and I can log in to see all my homework I submitted to the Cal State Los Angeles program. I'm trying to find the game. Dude, what a trip. Let me see if I can find the game file. Dude, I found it. Oh my god, I found it. What do you think was your most difficult coding concept to understand? Um, Recursion's a one that if to implement, it's just always a little bit confusing, but it's not super hard to understand. Um, I would say going and actually implementing the solid principles was probably the best sort of concept I ever went about. Have I made a C program? Yeah, man, I did a couple programs in C# back in the day. I kind of want to go over here and just download all this. Dude, this is a very nostalgic, man. What did I get on the final exam in SQL? I got 90 fucking 3. I got a 93 on my final exam in SQL, baby. Relational databases in SQL, CS 122. Isn't clean code based on Python? I think it's based on Java. I could be mistaken. I thought it was Java. Conditional logic versus polymorphism. I don't think those are the same things. At what point in my career have you made the most growth? From my first to second year, I made explosive growth because I took a job with a tech lead who made me uh, go and understand it. So a little bit better. Dude, I wish I could. Can I share my screen on this? I might do a video going through here. Like, what sort of grades did Dylan get? Yes, let's see here. Whew! Part 1, I got a 70. Part 2, what did I get on part 2? Part 2, I got 95. That's not too bad. Dude, let me see if I can open this. I was able to extract all. Dude, I'm having a blast right now. I know we're supposed to be doing this whole Windows cannot open this folder 7 to extract to tower defense. Shit, how do I launch this? How do I know if my JavaScript is good enough to land a web development job? Interviewing. That's always I mean, it sounds kind of silly, but the best way is to just interview, guys. Flag it and go back later. Dude, how do I launch this? God, it's been forever since I've... Shit. Alright, I'll come back to it. I don't see like an exe file or anything like that, so... Dude, I got a readme. It says 0.3 bugs. It crashes sometimes and lags. Still not sure why. Fucking love it, dude. Oh my god. All right. I'll come back to this. This is fun though. Rich Dylan. Dylan's not rich yet. I mean, what do you define as rich? Dylan is much better position than he was a couple of years ago, though. Definitely not rich. You know what's funny, man, is I have like a 2.3 GPA. But if we took just my computer science classes, I have like a close to a 4.0. Like, I really didn't give a shit about any of my general ed. In Bootstrap input, how do you have a drop down on any key event? On any key event, you have to, I mean, build a component. They probably have a component that does that. You want to code review your old projects? Maybe. Although, that would be. How many languages does April know? Probably just JavaScript. That's really all she's been working in. Would you recommend WGU for someone who already has a degree? I wouldn't recommend WGU for anybody. Yeah. I mean, I got 100K in the bank. That's a good amount of money to have. I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy with that. But that's not rich. That's 1 year, 2 years of comfort if some bad times happen. I'm about to pop out some little Dylans in the near future. So it's a long way where we came from when we came down to Florida, we had $500. So yes, full stack. Dude, you know what I should really look like at? Because I have no doubt my Python code's dog shit. But like I did see a web development one. Introduction to object-oriented programming. Whew, I didn't do too good on this one. One second, dog. I think we're about to launch this game. I'll share it in the chat so you guys can see it. Let's see if this goes. Pitch in here. This is usually a good place to start. Sounds like a lot. It's really not. Pick up some REST standards. Yeah, JavaScript's a great first language because it's rather flexible. So what's the old was it PyCharm I used back in the day? That sounds about right. The old saying, anything that can be built in JavaScript will be built in JavaScript. Would you consider Python the easiest? No. Any plans on making a startup? No, not really. I mean, I think we all think about it from time to time, but like right now, I don't have time to do the things I want to do. And probably up next, what's really in my future is traveling. Um, Traveling and kids and marriage and all that. And like right now, in the next 2 to 3 months, I'll be flying out 4 times. So and then I'll be selling the house and moving. So like thinking about anything like that is just, I mean, you're just lying to yourself if you think you're gonna get it done. So um, you got to be reasonable about what you can accomplish. And I'm already overbooked, unfortunately. You know, as developers, I often think we're all very motivated people who we want to push ourselves to do the most and do the best. But it's we have uh we have limits to what we can do and all that sort of stuff. So open source versus commercial. Pretty much everything I use is open source. How's the Swole Dev project going? Good, man. Uh, I took a little bit of time off, but besides that, everything's going really good. Um, so can I please update this, upload this YouTube later? It is, man. Mm-hmm. Hey, Neil. God, the chat got small. I'm trying to get this fucking thing to work. Would you consider Python the easiest? No, I think Python's right up there with JavaScript. I mean, I think the thing to keep in mind is not necessarily worry about what's easy or hard, but to do more so what it is that you're interested in. Like that's what's most important, I think. Otherwise, you're just not gonna stay focused and stay committed. Dude, you know what's fucking nutty? Is this was created on May 16th, 2015. That's what it says. That wasn't that long ago. Yeah, I never really built anything. This was probably the coolest thing I built back in college. Everything else is bullshit. But this was cool. This was the coolest project that I ever did. And you know, it's not that much code, and they basically gave us the entire thing to build it on. Anyhow, guys, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. I'm a little bit tired. Um, I'll catch you guys later. I'm gonna go have some dinner. I gotta watch the dogs and whatnot. Anyhow, I'm hoping I can install all this sort of stuff. But as always, guys, I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Bye.